What's up, guys? Welcome to Define Agile. This is Anatoly, where we're talking everything agile and agile tools. Today is a part 2 of the advanced time tracking series. We're reviewing a JIRA time tracker. This video is sponsored by a time tracker app. Kudos to these guys for allowing us to review their amazing app. In the previous video, I showed you how to use the front end of it, how to track your time, log your work. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up permissions and how to do settings in a time tracker app. So here we are. If you watched my previous video, you should know how it looks like. If you have not, I will leave a link somewhere up top so you guys can check it out. Please watch the first video before watching this one. Very important because it gives you all the information about the app itself, how to set it up. So I assume you already watched the first one, you know how to do things, and now let's go directly to settings and set things up properly. So if you're on Time Tracker app, I click on this wheel which is called admin settings, and here we are at the Time Tracker admin. We have a global settings on the left and everything on the right. Let's go through these global settings one by one. We will start with logging time. The first one is plan time. If you remember from my previous video, I showed you how Time Tracker allows you to create future work logs, where you don't put your duration or your issue, it will create them as a future one. So you can allow or disallow that setting right from here. The next one is work log description is mandatory. If you want to make sure every work log has description, put a checkbox in here. Maximum hours per day per user, very important. If you don't want somebody to log in tons of time, you can limit it to a certain amount of hours. Logging time to the past, pretty self-explanatory. Here's a couple things. If you lived unlimited, you can have log unlimited time to the past. You can put work logs anywhere you want in the past. If you make it 0, it means you cannot log any time to the past. And same as logging time to the future. You can do the same. If you put unlimited, go ahead. Log your time to the future. If you put 0, you cannot do it. Then the other one, global setting, is non-working issues. Let's look at that. Sometimes we need to track things like lunch, illness, holiday, dentist appointments. You can do it all here. You can create a task that is called lunch or illness or holidays, and then you can select this issue, and whenever it appears, when you track it in your work log, it will be a stripped line in a progress bar. Also, you can do the same for your projects. You can select a non-working project, and all issues of this project will be stripped in the progress bar, so those will be non-working issues. The next one is working days. Also very important, if you have some holidays that you want to exclude for your calculations, then you just put it here. Let's say, let's go to December. I don't want us to include Christmas in calculation. I just click add, and Christmas is there now. So very useful. If you want to include certain days, let's say you do work on Christmas, you can include there, and you will track them. So this is more for tracking calculations for your calendar coloring. Remember, when you look at calendar, there are some dates marked as red. So it allows you to do all that here. What I think is one of the most important ones is permissions. And permissions allow you to really go deep and see who can log your work, who can see reporting. So let's go one by one and see how it works. First one is permission to log work, and by default all users have permission to log their work, but maybe you have only certain group of people who you want to log work and other people cannot do that. So then you just go and select, let's say if it's super admins or it's your QAs or your developers. Let's say you only want your developers to log work while your product managers not log work. You can select it here. The very important one that all of you need to set up is permission to use reporting. By default, anyone can see all the reports for everybody. So I don't think that's a great idea. You want to make sure that maybe your administrators or some product owners can see reporting, or your executive can see reporting, while the users themselves don't have access to that feature just because, well, they can see what other people are tracking, their time, which is not really useful. To do that, we can go and select a group. Let's say you only want testers to see reporting. This is just an example because I am not in group testers, so that's why I can show you that I don't have access to reporting if I put testers here. I'm actually a JIRA administrator. So you probably will select that JIRA administrators will have access. Or maybe your product owners if you have a group like that. But let's put testers, just an example here. And let's see what happens in the time tracker. I'm in a time tracker. Usually there's a reporting icon here, but because I don't have access to it anymore, I don't have it. I only have a timeline and a calendar. So if I give access to JIRA administrators, let's see what happens. I'll go back to admin settings. So here I am again, remove testers and add JIRA administrators. Here we go. Let's go back to time tracker. If I refresh the page, so now you see I have reports available again to me. So this is a very good feature to limit access to certain groups, to certain people who have access to reports versus those who do not. Let's go back to settings and see what else we have. You can also have a certain people be able to see it. So if I want myself to be there, I can add myself as well. So next one is permission to report other users' work log. By default, anybody can do it. Well, if you want only, let's say, JIRA administrators or your product owners or somebody who need to have access to report other users' work logs to do that. If, let's say, somebody forgot to report their work log, well, product owner can do that. So we can select it here and select certain users or administrators again or groups, and you can do that. And finally, permission to create work log to the past, future without restrictions. So we see in a logging time that we can select restrictions. If we don't want these restrictions for certain users, we also can do that. And those users will not have any restrictions to report work logs. So this is also an important one. Time Tracker app tracks everything you add to Time Tracker, but now let's say you have some past time tracking. If you want to synchronize that, or if something went out of sync and you see that there are some discrepancies, you can restart synchronization. It will take some time. Once it's done, it's all going to be fine. So troubleshooting, if you see something is out of sync, try synchronization first. Restart it, click on a button, wait for it, and it will synchronize. So that's it, guys. Those are all the settings. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. I really appreciate if you enjoy this video to like and subscribe, to share to more and more people. And big shout out to Time Tracker app for sponsoring this video. I really enjoyed using it. I'll talk to you next one. Bye bye.